payroll analyst signs in at 2:13 a.m. The password is correct. Multi-factor passes. No malware alert fires. But the login comes from a country they have never used, on a device no one has seen, followed by access to payroll exports they normally never touch. Is that a user working late, or an account takeover? This is the gap UEBA is built to close. Compromised account detection starts with one idea: valid credentials can still produce invalid behavior. UEBA means User and Entity Behavior Analytics. Plain English. It learns what normal looks like for people, devices, and accounts, then flags behavior that does not fit. In a NIST-style security framing, it supports detection and response by turning identity, access, endpoint, and network events into behavior-based risk. It is not asking only, was the password right? It asks, does this activity match this account's usual pattern? Users are people. Entities include service accounts, hosts, applications, and sometimes API keys. UEBA is used for compromised account detection because takeovers often use real credentials. The login may look allowed. The behavior after the login is where the story changes. Before UEBA, many SOCs lived in separate alert piles. The identity system showed a successful login, the VPN showed a new source, the file platform showed bulk access, the SIEM had all three events, but no one connected them fast enough. Traditional rules are good for known bad patterns. Account takeover is harder because the username and password may be valid. Credential stuffing survivors are a good example. Most attempts fail, one works, and that one account starts behaving just slightly wrong. Maybe it logs in at an odd hour, opens new systems, or queries data it never used. UEBA reduces the manual stitching and pushes those weak signals into one risk picture. UEBA works in steps. First, it collects activity from identity providers, VPN, endpoint tools, cloud apps, directory services, email, file stores, and network logs. Second, it builds baselines. That means usual locations, devices, login times, peer groups, applications, data volume, and admin actions. Third, it compares new behavior against that baseline. A new device alone may be normal. A new device plus impossible travel plus first-time access to a finance system is different. Fourth, it accumulates risk instead of treating every signal as equal. Each unusual action adds weight. Fifth, when the score crosses a threshold, the response can be automatic. Requires step-up authentication, disable a session, lock the account, open a case, or notify the analyst. Here is a generic SOC story. At 8:40 a.m., a sales user logs in from their normal city. At 9:05, the same account appears from another continent. The tool marks impossible travel. The second session uses a browser and device fingerprint never seen for that account. Risk rises. Minutes later, the account opens a contract archive it has never touched, then searches for customer export files. That is sudden access to never-touched systems. UEBA ties the events together under one identity. The score crosses the response line. The identity platform forces reauthentication and ends active sessions. The SOC case opens with the timeline, devices, locations, and accessed resources. The analyst calls the user, confirms they are not traveling, resets credentials, and reviews exposure. UEBA's strength is correlation over time. It catches patterns a single rule may miss: impossible travel combined with a new device, odd hour admin activity, a normal user touching sensitive systems for the first time, or a service account acting like a human. That last one matters. Service accounts should have predictable patterns. If one starts interactive logins, browsing apps, or pulling broad data, UEBA should raise the risk. The limits are real. UEBA does not prove intent by itself. New employees, travel, role changes, and emergency work can all look strange. Bad data creates bad baselines. Shared accounts weaken results. UEBA also does not replace identity hygiene. Least privilege, MFA, conditional access, logging, and fast offboarding still matter. Think of UEBA as behavior context in the defensive stack. The SIEM collects and searches events. UEBA analyzes patterns across those events and produces risk. Identity and access management enforce controls such as step-up authentication, session revocation, or account disablement. EDR tells you whether the device involved shows endpoint risk. Data security tools show what files or records were touched. SOAR can run the playbook when the risk score passes a threshold. The best setups cross-reference both ways. SIEM rules can feed UEBA with notable events. UEBA risk can enrich SIEM alerts, so analysts see not just one login, but the account's recent behavior story. Start with a narrow goal: compromised account detection for high-value users and sensitive systems. Connect the core logs first: identity sign-ins, MFA results, device details, VPN, admin actions, major SaaS access, and file activity. Clean up account ownership. Label service accounts. Remove shared accounts where possible. Define peer groups so finance users compare to finance users, not developers or executives. Build a small set of responses. Investigate, step-up authentication, session kill, temporary lock, and manager verification. For skills, analysts should learn identity logs, normal business workflows, basic statistics, and case timeline writing. Review top risk users daily at first. Track false positives, confirmed incidents, response time, and which signals actually helped. Recap in 3 beats. 1. Compromised account detection is hard because the login can be valid while the behavior is wrong. 2. UEBA connects signals like impossible travel, new device, odd hours, sudden sensitive access, and service accounts acting like humans. 3. Risk scores let defenders move faster, from analyst review to automatic containment when confidence is high enough. Use UEBA to add behavior context, not to replace good identity controls or skilled investigation. If this helped, subscribe. A new Security Tools Decoded episode drops daily, along with the daily ranked CVE brief on this channel.